Robert Duvall once said that an actor needs hobbies, hobbies, and more hobbies. You know, you have to be able to leave LA behind and just get out and be amongst the people. Try different things. Because whatever you do, you're going to be able to use at some point as an actor through whatever your life experiences are. So I've tried to live by that, and certainly my horses serve that purpose for me.
Welcome to Common Sense Mamita. I'm Lydia Nicole, and if it's your first time watching and you are interested in acting tips, showbiz insight, and life lessons, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you can get everything in real time. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the one, the only, Mr. Reginald T. Dorsey. Welcome, Reggie!
Thank
So
you,
good
Lydia.
to have you. Mwah! It's so good to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, how did you get into acting?
It was something that I'd always wanted to do, but just really never had the avenue growing up in Texas. I was actually doing it before I knew what I was doing. I'd see old cowboy movies and I'd imitate them. Whenever they get shot off their horse, I'd be riding my little hobby horse and I'd get shot off too. When I was around 13, my mother had heard about a film that was being cast in Dallas called Book of Numbers.
Oh, I remember that film.
Yeah, guy came in where she was doing nails.
Raymond St. Jacques.
Right.
That's
Philip
right.
Michael Thomas.
Yes.
It was his first film.
It was a period piece, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. He had told her, that he knew that they were going to be casting for some extras and we might want to go down and get a look. So we went down, and producer Raymond St. Jacques, director Raymond St. Jacques, saw me, started taking pictures of me, and he and the other producers kind of huddled up and decided to write a part in the film for me. And so from that point on, the rest is history, as they say.
That's fantastic. So then you came from Texas to Los Angeles?
Yes. Well, my family had already moved to California.
Oh, okay.
But I had gone back to go to school for a couple of semesters.
Okay.
And while I was there, that's when everything kind of took place. But it was an exciting time for me. It was a dream come true, and I always like to say that whatever you are meant to do, you will get an opportunity to do it, but you have to be ready for it. Thank God that I was, and I was able to take advantage of it beyond that point. At 16, I decided to leave home and pursue my dream, and
Wow.
I came to LA from San Jose, California.
Wow.
And I've been here
So,
grinding ever
okay,
since.
so let's stop. Let's stop right now. So you're 16, you leave home,
Yeah.
you come to Los Angeles. Did you have any connections here? Did you know anybody?
Not really. I mean, I knew Raymond and I knew a few other folks that had worked on the project with me. But I'd moved out here to Pomona, Southern California, with a friend of mine's family that was moving here. And I continued to go to high school for a quick minute. And upon getting my first agent, I decided to quit school, dropped out in
So
the 10th
you became
grade.
emancipated at that time? Is that?
Kind of, sort of. I was still in school,
Okay.
when I got the agent, and I went back home, had a conversation with my mom, and told her that, this was my lifelong dream. This is what I wanted to do. And she had enough faith in me, that I would continue it. And so I took my GED, and from that point on, I was off and running.
So you got an agent.
Yeah.
Who was the agency?
Oh, man. Commercials Unlimited.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you started commercially. So then how did you move into theatrical?
It was a grind. I studied acting at various workshops, most notably the Van Mar Academy
Okay.
here in Hollywood. And from that point, I just kept grinding. After doing some commercials, I finally got a theatrical agent, just continued the process.
When I met you, you had a good support system. You were connected with a lot of young artists,
Right.
a lot of young actors,
Right.
and you were a go-getter, just working hard, moving your ball. So how did that start? Did you start to meet people at the acting classes?
Various situations took place. One of them specifically was, through acting classes. But in addition to that, I was part of a theater company at the time called Mirrors. And so we toured around Los Angeles and, various other places. And I was able to meet a lot of, people in the industry through that opportunity. And we also did a lot of work over at the Inner City Cultural Center.
Oh,
back in the
yes.
day,
A most important place at that
which was a
time.
hub for everybody.
Yes,
So
that's where I started.
Right,
out
right,
here, that
right,
was
right,
the
right.
place I started.
through that opportunity, we just continued to, build relationships, support one another. push one another, motivate one another. Because, you know, at the time, it was rough back then.
Yes, it was rough, but you also were able to get some good parts because you were in 21 Jump Street, you did Booker. I mean, you were working, you were getting yourself out there. You weren't no joke.
Yeah, but you know, there was some lean times in between there.
But I think that's for all actors. I mean, I think we all go through that. Can I get $1, please?
Right. I always like to say that, you know, for that particular time, I took the best of some of the worst work out there. Not that, you know, 21 Jump Street or Booker was in that category. There wasn't a lot of varied opportunities, so to speak.
For young black men.
Exactly. You know, it was...
Or Latino women.
Exactly. You know, gangbanger number 1.
That's right.
Hood urchin over here number
That's
2.
I did them all. I know.
But, you know, hey, we do what we had to do to continue the process. As time went on, I started to turn some corners and get the types of roles that I wanted to do.
So when did you start riding a horse? And when did you get, because not a lot of people know about this amazing group of black film people, actors and industry people who ride horses.
Right. I started when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather was a cowboy who passed away shortly before I was born, and his son, my uncle, put me on my first horse when I was 3, and it was just a passion. You know, I like to say that it was in my blood, it was in my DNA. And so from that point on, I continued to, you know, raise horses as a kid, and I was just always around them. I mean, I would go nuts if my mother passed a pasture of horses and she didn't stop. And thank God, you know, throughout my life, I was able to continue to raise horses to this day.
So when did you connect in Los Angeles to start riding horses again? What was that catalyst for you?
That probably well, I was always riding horses in Los Angeles, but I didn't own any at the time. And that probably happened around 1986 when the Bill Pickett Rodeo first started coming to LA. I got involved with them, and I started meeting other black cowboys. And that's where Glenn Turman and I were able to meet, and we've been friends, family ever since.
And you really, I mean, that's something that you really nurtured.
Yeah.
You really took that on like a job.
There's an old saying that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And so my horses have been my support system throughout my time here in Hollywood. They have inspired me. As much as I've learned about my acting and filmmaking, you know, I've learned as much about life through my horses. Because you have to be patient, you have to earn your trust with a horse. You know, it's just a spiritual thing for me. It's been beautiful.
Did you take it as a hobby when you were first getting back into it out here in Los Angeles? Was it just a hobby and then it became a way of life for you?
It was a hobby. It was a way for me to get away from Hollywood, you know, the pressure, and just to have an outlet. Robert Duvall once said that an actor needs hobbies, and more hobbies. You know, you have to be able to leave LA behind and just get out and be amongst the people. Try different things. Because whatever you do, you're going to be able to use at some point as an actor through whatever your life experiences are. So I've tried to live by that, and certainly my horses serve that purpose for me.
So when did you start deciding, okay, I'm an actor, I ride horses, now I want to create content? I'm tired of waiting for that part to come.
Right.
When did that hit you?
You know, I've always had a passion for wanting to do westerns. My stuntman actually was one of the greatest inspirations to me. His name was John Sherrard. He became like a father figure to me. He had a ranch out in Agua Dulce.
Oh, wow.
And one day we were sitting on the beach over in Hawaii. We were doing Magnum PI, and he was like, you know, I got a ranch, right? And I'm like, what? A ranch? Because we had worked together before, but I'd never known that he had horses and a ranch and things of that nature. And he was like, yeah, you know, anytime you want to come out and ride, feel free to do so. So when I got back to LA, I started spending time with him on his ranch. He really got me back into horses and riding again. And, you know, he taught me how to rope. And from that point on, I started focusing on competing in rodeos. And in addition to the Bill Pickett, Glenn Turman and myself would start to travel and compete in various rodeos throughout California, Arizona, and Nevada. We would not only do team roping, but we would also do a sport called team pinning as well.
So, where you pin the
cattle.
Yes.
Yeah. In a pin under a minute and 30 seconds, whoever has the fastest time wins.
Wow.
And so here in LA, we won a championship back in, I think it was like 91.
That's so exciting.
From those opportunities and different rodeos and things, we were able to meet other cowboys, other people who were interested, not only in working in film, but other actors who were interested in horses. And so Glenn and myself, we introduced a lot of the people that you see that now have horses in Hollywood to the cowboy way of life.
There's a whole community of black actors who own horses, ride horses. Yeah. I learned about that from Roxanne Reese because she had her horse.
Yeah.
And I would go to the stables with her. And then Margaret Ann, a friend of mine, not an actor, but very much involved in that community. So I've learned a lot of the way of the cowboy.
Right.
What made you decide that you wanted to start producing?
Lack of work.
Okay.
And lack of the type of work that I wanted to do. I not only wanted to create opportunities for myself, but also for the actors whose work that I admired. And I started writing. I started attaching myself to projects that people were trying to get made. From that point on, I never looked back and just started grinding.
So what was the first film you did on your own?
Well, I worked with Bobby Martis on a documentary that, longtime friend of ours.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Hollywood Shuffle.
Right,
Bobby
right,
Martis.
Right. That he was working on that was about Katrina, a lot of the situations that took place down there. I read a really good film called Kings of the Evening that I ended up producing and starring in.
Who wrote it?
Andrew Jones and his dad, Paige Jones, wrote it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was just a phenomenal script. It was something that, I knew I had to be a part of. And so after reading the script, I told my agent, I said, hey, I'd like to take a meeting with them. He was like, well, if you don't audition, you're not going to get the part, because I wasn't attached as a producer, or, they didn't even know me at the time.
How did you get your hands on the script?
He got the script for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I read it, and like I said, I instantly fell in love with it. But I told him that I wanted to set up a meeting and, go in and have a chance to just sit down and talk to them, as opposed to going in and auditioning. A lot of times Hollywood being what it is, especially as far as people of color are concerned, when it comes to evolving, a lot of times, we don't get the same appreciation as far as how we are approached for different projects. And I told him, I said, I want to sit down and talk to them and, just let them get to know who I am, figure out if we'd be a right fit for one another. And so he was like, well, if you don't audition, you're not going to get the part. And so I said, never mind, I'll go in and I'll handle it. And I went in.
Don't tell Reggie. Just to be quiet.
I went in and they handed me my sides, and I went in the room with two other actors at the time, and they were like, okay, so you guys are ready? And I'm like, no. The director was sitting there, and I said, I need to talk to you for a moment. Can you and I step outside? And when we stepped outside, I handed him my reel and my resume. I said, I'm not here to audition for you today. I can help you get this film made. I really want to be a part of it. I love the material. And if you're interested, let's talk. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. He and I sat down. We talked. At the end of our meeting, he said, what do you want out of the project? I said, I want to produce it with you, and I'd love to have one of the lead roles in it. And from that point on, we never looked back.
Wow. How long did it take you to get it made once you guys connected?
That was a process. A year, maybe a year and a half after we...
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
But the hustle, what happened was Paige Jones, which is Andrew's father, his dad ended up actually EPing the project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he took a hit for us to get this project made.
Wow.
But, overall, it was a 4-year journey.
Okay.
I mean, from beginning to end. But it was one of those things that the film never let us down. And it was something that we both passionately believed in. And we wanted to create a different avenue in terms of not only the content, but also the ability for the actors to really do some of the work that we knew that they were capable of doing.
It's also a period piece, which is difficult sometimes to get funding for and get done. But you had a period piece. You also had some fabulous actors in it.
Thank you.
You know, you had Glenn Turman in it. You had Lynn Whitfield.
Bruce McGill, James Russo, Stephen Williams, Clyde Jones, a number of really talented actors that I've admired for years. And I wanted to give them the same opportunity that I had been looking for. You know, I invited everybody to come and play.
And what's terrific is you can now view that film at UMC, Urban Movie Channel.
Yeah, it's been on Showtime and a number of places. It's at Redbox right now. And so if you want to get the DVD, it's not hard to find. Just Google Kings of the Evening.
Excellent. After you did that, what was your next project?
I formed my company after that. Basically, I just started looking for really good material. Craig Ross Jr. had created an idea for a series called Monogamy.
Okay, so Monogamy is a series, not a film. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's about 4 couples who basically take part in this experiment where they exchange mates, and some will make it and some won't.
Oh, Lord.
And it's not a reality show. It's actually a drama.
Right. And where can we find that?
It's on UMC.
Oh, okay. It's also on UMC. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we just recently got picked up for our 2nd season.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is awesome. And you are also in the 5th Ward.
Yes.
So tell me about that project.
The 5th Ward is similar to a great show that I loved called The Wire. The 5th Ward is basically a community in Houston, Texas, and it follows a slice of life of a bunch of characters.
Okay.
You know, where they've come from, where they are actually going in life, and my character was just added the 2nd season. His name is Leroy Lewis.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and he is the chief of police
All
of
right.
Houston PD. Yes.
I love that.
I read the sides for it. The director, Greg Carter, sent me over the sides for it. I didn't even have to look at the script after reading the sides. It was that good of a
Wow.
He asked me if I wanted to come and play, and I said, for this, oh yeah, I'm in.
What is some advice that you would give a young black actor starting out in Hollywood from all the experience and information that you've gotten? How would you guide that actor?
What I would do is tell them that no matter what the industry is selling you, that there's definitely 2 distinct Hollywoods.
Ooh, okay.
There's white Hollywood and there's black Hollywood. It's okay to approach it from a perspective that you are going to break down barriers regardless of what you're challenged by. Please keep that in mind. Keep that in your heart. But just know that the 2 do exist, and so a lot of the opportunities that you'll see your white counterparts getting will be a lot harder for you to get. And just because, you know, a lot of places are selling quote unquote diversity now, a lot of it's just talk. And so you have to really get into the underbelly of what's really going on and surround yourself with good people that are going to keep you inspired. Richard Lawson has a fantastic workshop in Hollywood.
North Hollywood, yes.
You know, he's doing great things.
Yes, and he also has a theater that elevates what he's doing, because he's not waiting. Another one who's not waiting, they're putting on productions and doing all kind of wonderful things.
Yeah, and inspiring folks.
Yes,
you know, and creating a community where you can go like we had back in the day with the
Inner City Cultural Center. Mr. Jackson.
Yeah. Be focused, you know, and be strong, because it's going to take all of that and then some. But when you respect the craft and you put the work in, know that you'll get your opportunity, but be ready for it.
So let's talk about representation as far as you having management or an agent. How would you navigate somebody through that? That's a relationship, and how should you nurture it?
You have to find somebody that is like-minded first and foremost, whether that's a manager or an agent. Somebody that's really going to believe in you, and somebody that's just not throwing your career up against the wall and basically seeing what's going to stick. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of agents
and it's really important to know that when you get an agent, that it's not about quality sometimes with them, it's about quantity.
Absolutely.
They're trying to keep their lights on.
Yeah.
They're trying to pay their bills.
Yeah.
Are you going to book work that they're going to get something from it?
Right.
That's what they want to know.
Right,
I mean, and it's a business. It's about money. It's not, you know.
And they really don't care, you know, what your objective is or the quality of work that you want to do.
Right.
Take your time.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them do invest in you and really nurture you and grow you as an artist, but a lot
Yeah.
You know, they're doing what they do. They're selling actors, and they're trying to make their monthly nut.
Absolutely. So it's important that you know who you're hitching your wagon to. You may even, end up with an agent that really doesn't care about you as far as, what your overall goal is and things. But you got to use them too.
Yes.
Use them as a stepping stone to your next platform.
Yes. And it's always better to have an agent, to get an agent, than to let go of that agent and now you can't get
Exactly.
Not that I know anything about.
Yeah. I just spent 8 years without an agent. But it wasn't because I couldn't get one. It was about me waiting for the right one. And I had just done enough work, after 47 years in this business, that I said, you know what, I'm good where I am right now. I'm good producing my own projects, developing films that I want to do for the future. And so it's really important for me to align myself with somebody that's going to understand that and really appreciate that. And a friend of mine that I've known forever, he's over at a company called APA. He and I have started working together.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We love APA.
And I'm really happy, with the relationship that he and I have.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed the conversation, and even if you didn't, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you can get all the information in real time.
Peace.